Right, you've used the word clunky to describe your offense at times this season. Did you feel like tonight was one of the less clunky performances your unit has?
I thought the guys were really, really good, especially in the second half. You know, I thought the execution, I thought the spacing, I thought the purposeful understanding of like what are we trying to do was there. I think that there was a committed effort to offensive rebound when we just didn't make the shots. But I thought our guys were very efficient and purposeful with what we did executing wise in the second half, especially.
Coach, what impressed you the most about Josh tonight? Was it the offense, or was it the defense?
It was a combination of everything statistically you look at, but I thought that his attitude and his attack mentality right out of the gate, you know, was impressive, and he just was extremely aggressive, both sides of the ball immediately. And you know, we talked about, and I never go here. This was a closeout game in some way. Not in some ways, it was a closeout game. You can go 3-0 on Boston, and you don't know, you know, where that may be able to be cashed in at some point, if at all. But we, in our eyes, in January, like this was kind of a unique game. And I think Josh Richardson, in the absence of Joel Embiid, and we have a chance here at home, which what are we, 17-2 here at home now? 18-2. We wanted to keep that momentum going. I think Josh drove that. He was our bell ringer tonight, and I thought it started with just his mindset, his mentality, as much as whatever statistics came out of that attitude.
This is a team you've had a lot of trouble with in the past. As you mentioned, you're on 3-0 against them this year, in different ways with different people. What do you think has changed?
I don't know. You know, I don't know. It's like their rosters changed, our rosters changed. I don't know. Like maybe we should just start there. I do feel like we're starting to, not just against Boston. I don't want to overplay this. I just feel like we're starting to get an idea of the first question of just more purposeful, like offense, taking an unusual sort of, you know, physical skill set team and learning how to best place it. I thought Al Horford tonight, both sides of the ball, you know, gave us life and toughness and offensive rebounding. And I just think that this year's evolution, Tim, is born out of that. Like we're starting to feel stuff and get more familiar in relation to what's the difference with Boston. I don't know. It's like that's part of the league.
Ben, you put Ben in the start set corners, backup center. He was all over the place in the paint.
Yeah.
In terms of attacking, what was kind of your thought process with that small ball lineup in the center, and what did you think overall it was?
I mean, I've always been curious. You know, I've always been curious of what that could look like, and we've seen over the past, you know, 3 weeks. I have put him in a lot of screening action, like as the screener. And you can see he's a dynamic roller. He can go get lobs, he can catch pocket passes, he can find, you know, people in corners. And so in that world, if you just sort of like zoom into he's been a screen setter, if you put shooters around him and give somebody to come around and pick and roll, well, let's call him the 5, and it's true. In that environment he was. I thought he was good. I don't know what the numbers bear out. I thought he was good, but it's something we just tried. I thought Norvell coming in, you know, really gave us that thing that I'm talking about with screen and rolling, and I thought we even missed him a few times as Jay Rich was playing cross-back game. But I have wanted to try Ben at 5. We did, and I suspect you'll see it again.
Right, talk about that. You know, we're talking about the theme before the game. The guys were saying next man up. Like, you know, we know Joel's down, but it's all about next man up. You talk about collectively the center spot where Norvell played a great game, Al had a good game. You know, Ben
Bird came in and gave us some buckets. Trey did his thing.
Exactly. But, you know, it just seemed like at that 5 position, you know, you were
at the 5 position, right?
At the 5 position, you guys, you know, they played well.
I think they did, and we had to. You know, you got Joe. We just did our post-game sort of bell ringing ceremony, and I look over one of the players' shoulders, and I can see Elton's holding Joel on FaceTime, and so we were able from New York to include him, which is always a good thing. And when you're missing Joel, you better have some people, do what Norvell did, and Ben in his limited minutes, and Al Horford, was huge all over the place. And it's true, it was a next man up. We had to find something to take that massive void that Joel left.
Brett, how do you think Al did defensively, particularly with the blowtorch you referenced before the game? And how you guys?
I thought he was really good. I thought that we were good dealing with some pick and roll schemes that we haven't been in. It wasn't sort of as conservative at times as it's been with Joel back there, and you got the comfort level of having 7'2" all league defense. We had many layers to like the instruction of what pick and roll was going to be, and it's really dizzying because of the variety of skills that the Boston Celtics wings, which there are many of, have. And so whether somebody's in a switch, so somebody's in a quick hedge, somebody's back a little bit in like a corral type thing like Al, everybody had to react to kind of a different game plan born out of that thing you're talking about. We got Al up, now what? And the defense behind it, now what? And it's something that I thought our guys did a really good job with.
Was Al making those calls tonight where like the different coverages? Because I know a lot of times when Joel drops that he's quarterback of the defense. Or was that a situation tonight where from the sidelines you guys are orchestrating? We
were pretty much orchestrating it. You don't want to go into this stuff like this with calculus. You need sophisticated vanilla. It needs to be simple, but it needs to be different. And we were that. We were pretty much stuck to something, by and large, the whole game. When they brought in different people, we'd make subtle adjustments, but the template sort of maintained throughout 48 minutes. Al was kind of the cornerstone to a lot of it, where because he was up, other things had to happen behind him, as we spoke of. And that's how we approached the defensive game plan.
Did Norvell do anything to sway you as far as him deserving those backup center minutes moving forward and him deserving to be on this team?
I mean, look at what he can do. If you just zoom into what is his skill set, what is his NBA skill set, and let's start with he is a rim protector, and then go to offense and say he is a roller. Like, those two things are quite valuable, and he's quite different to our team. And so then you get into like, okay, who's going to run the pick and roll with him? You got Ben and Jay Rich, are exceptional at doing that. And so like you got, Norvell rolling behind that. You can see why we would look at him as like, that's a young prospect that interests us a lot. I thought he was excellent tonight.
Thanks, Brett.
Thanks, everybody.